Hello viewers, you have to know that which coefficient are changing with latitude and which coefficient is not changing with latitude for magnetic compass. So let's check it out. Viewers, today our class is class 14 for magnetic compass. Which coefficient change with latitude and which coefficient are not change with latitude. This one you have to know because this is also the DG question for the class 2 one day for nav8 subject. Viewers, you already knows that these are the permanent magnetism PQR and this is the induced magnetism HSI. One is fore and aft authorship, BSI aft and below. So this one you already knows. If you check my last videos, you can check their full explanation already given there. Guys, for B coefficient BP plus BI, BP for permanent, BI for induced, BP for P force, okay, and for C is CP plus CI. CP for permanent, that is for Q force. CP is for Q force and CI is for unsymmetrical BSI, that is normally not exist, okay. And here for B, BP plus BI, BI is for induced magnetism, is BI is for the BSI aft, okay, that is corrected by the Flinders bar, okay. So and this for the D coefficient, HSI for aft and HSI authorship. E is for the unsymmetrical HSI. A is also same reason, A and E more or less same reason guys, and J is for the healing error. So viewers, A and E for the unsymmetrical HSI, but normally unsymmetrical HSI is not present on board ship. Viewers, first of all I start from the BP. BP is for the P force. You know that for P force, for P plus, this is for P plus, okay, that permanent blue polarity at the forward, permanent blue polarity at the forward, okay. So in 20° north latitude, the DF is much stronger because DF is stronger in the lower latitude. As you increase the latitude going to the north pole or south pole, your DF decrease. So suppose this 40° north latitude DF decreased, so that's why attraction is more, deviation is more. Here you see, here deviation is less, okay, means DF stronger, deviation less. So DF weaker, deviation more. So since the DF is changing with the latitude, means BP changing, means B coefficient changing, okay guys. For the BSI aft, for the BI, I already discussed here before that this is like this figure. So in the northern hemisphere, blue is top, correct, and in southern hemisphere red is top. You can see here, if I draw it as a plan view, you can check here, this is the BSI aft and this is a plan view. You see like this, okay. In the northern hemisphere, blue, you can see blue on top, and southern hemisphere you can see red on top, okay. So you can see here also guys, and this is a plan view of BSI aft in northern hemisphere. So since a blue pool at the aft, you can see here, so your magnetic needle will attract towards the blue pole. So since it is induced by DF force, DF HF or H force, higher latitude DF is weaker, so deflect more deviation. In lower latitude DF is stronger, so less deviation, okay. So since DF is changing with the latitude, your BI is also changing, so your BP and BI both changing, that means your B coefficient changing, okay, remember. Viewers, this one I am explaining only for the northern hemisphere. This one you can explain the southern hemisphere also same way. Southern hemisphere will be here red, okay, remember. And this one for P plus I explained, so P minus also you can express. P minus, the aft side will be the blue polarity, that you can explain by P minus. So same will be the answer, that with the latitude this DF is changing, so force changing means coefficient changing, okay. And viewers, this part is for the permanent magnetism and this is for the induced magnetism, because BP is for permanent and BI is for induced, okay. This one I write here, you can check this one also, okay. For the C, for the CP, This is for permanent magnetism. Q plus, because Cp is the reason for Q force. You can see that for Q plus, viewers, this Q plus, Q minus I already explained. You can check in the last videos, guys. Also for P also, you see P plus, P minus I already explained before. You can review my last videos, guys. So for Q plus, this blue polarity on starboard side here, and for the Q minus will be blue polarity on the port side. Okay, as this is low latitude, so df is more stronger in 20 degree north, so deflection of your needle, this is the magnetic needle of your magnetic compass, will be deflect less. Okay, but increase in latitude, df will be weaker, so your needle will deflect more deviation, means the df is changing. So cp means q also changing, correct, with the latitude. So cp changing means coefficient c also changing. Okay, and viewers, for the CI, CI is the reason for unsymmetrical BSI. If there is an unsymmetrical BSI around your compass, so if there is unsymmetrical BSI, that means your that induced by DF. So increase with latitude, DF changing means CI also changing. Okay, if there exist, but normally there are no CI exist, because normally they are all are symmetrical. So if exist means if there are unsymmetrical BSI around your compass, then CI is also changing with the latitude. Okay, guys, so you understand, guys, this B and C both are changing with the latitude, means BP, CP changing, BI, CI changing with the latitude. Okay, remember, because of this, for these two changing because of the df force changing. So if df force changing with latitude, so this coefficient is also changing. Okay, guys, I already discussed this HSI fore and aft and HSI authorship. You know that here the directive force is the df force. Okay, and this polarity created by directive force, and this polarity are not the permanent polarity, creating only when the heading changing. Guys, this polarity only creating only with your ship's heading changing. Okay, so since this directive force and the deviating force is same due to the h force, understand, guys, just check here. Here this HSI fore and aft or HSI authorship both are induced by H force, DF or HF, and this polarity is created by the df force, because df force is passing. Okay, so since this df force is passing, the polarity is creating, so there is no permanent polarity here. Okay, only the strong polarity here and partial polarity here. This is fully induced, this is partially induced, like this, guys. Okay, and with the heading changing, you see, with the heading changing, polarity is also changing. So there is no permanent polarity here. So here the directive force is the h force, deviating force is also the h force, because deviating force is this one, polarity, because this polarity is created by the h force. Guys, since this df is changing with latitude, at the pole df is nil, so there is no polarity at the pole, correct? So if the h force remain, the polarity remain. So it's similar, guys. Okay, means one changing, another is also changing, like this deviating force changing, so directive force also changing. Okay, remember, so that's why this HSI fore and aft and HSI authorship is not changing with the latitude, because of only one reason, guys, because here the directive force is the df force, and the deviating force is also caused for the df force, because this df force is making the polarity. Understand, guys? Because without this df force, this polarity will not create, because this is not the permanent polarity. Okay, so since this polarity is creating by the df force and the directive force is also df force, so if one changing, another is also changing with the latitude. So since both are changing with the latitude, that's why it will be balanced. So this HSI fore and aft and HSI authorship is not changing with the latitude, guys, remember. Okay, guys, if you check my last videos, you can understand a little bit clearly, guys. Just follow my all videos for magnetic compass. And guys, here for the A and E, this all are for the unsymmetrical HSI. So since there are no unsymmetrical HSI around the compass, so and your compass is on the center line, so there are no A and E exist. But if there are any unsymmetrical HSI around your compass, then this also create some deviation, guys. Okay, and same way, guys, since HSI foreign-aft and HSI authorship is not changing with latitude, so A and E also not changing with latitude, guys. Okay. Yes, here is also I am showing you guys these two figure. You can see this is the foreign-aft and this is the authorship, and this is the DF force. So the directive force is the DF force. So this polarity is also creating by the DF force. So viewers, I can make the summary like that. Changing with the latitude, this BP, CP, BI, and CI, these are the reason for B and C coefficient, correct? This B and C coefficient is changing with latitude. This is confirmed. I already shown you with the figures. And since this HSI foreign-aft and authorship is not changing, so D is not changing, correct? And as well as this A and E also not changing with latitude, so A, E, D is not changing with latitude. Guys, if you see my last videos, that J is also changing with latitude, and we have to correct it with the healing error bucket to up and down. And also if hemisphere change, you have to reverse the permanent magnet in the healing error bucket, so that one is also changing with latitude. J coefficient is caused for the healing error. So if your vessel healed over, then this healing error occurred. Okay, and this is corrected by this permanent magnet in the healing error bucket. Okay, so I think you understand that here this is the result. So if you explain like this way in your exam paper, is the best way, guys. So I think you understand my videos and you can make a note for the answer. Okay.